Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 85 of the Rock and Roll Beer Guy podcast. Don't forget to check out my Patreon page, patreon.com/rockandrollbeerguy. You'll get access to a bunch of different exclusive interviews I did at Psycho Las Vegas with people like CKY and Red Fang and Andrew WK. Support independent content creators like myself and my special guest, the great and powerful Skinner. He's done work for bands like Mastodon. More recently, he did the cover art for High on Fire's Electric Messiah, which is currently up for a Grammy. We talk a little bit about that. We talk a bit about the projects he has coming up, including a stop motion animation and several other projects. We talk a little bit about social media and how it affects people, and ask him a bunch of questions I've been wanting to ask him for a while. I honestly could have talked to him for hours. We'll probably do another episode down the road. It was a pleasure talking to him. I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to share this with your friends. One of the things we talked about was social media and how it affects artists and independent content creators. It's all about networking and word of mouth. So tell your friends, share it, subscribe, leave a little like on the picture when you see it. Don't just scroll by. Leave a comment, interact. I always respond to messages and comments. Thank you so much for listening. Now, here's Skinner. Cheers.
Rock and roll beer guy.
What's up, Skinner? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. Drinking some coffee, getting my body awoken, however you want to say
it. Yeah, you getting awakened?
Awakened, bro. Getting
cool, man.
What's the ascended?
You're ascending?
I'm ascending at the moment.
Okay, well that's good.
So
better than descending.
True. That is true, which seems to be the case with a lot of people these days.
Oh, we're all descending. That's for sure.
It's nuts, man. How's it going in? You're living out in the Oakland area, right?
Yes, I do. I live in Oakland, California.
Very nice.
The best weather in the whole world.
I would agree. There's not like extreme cold or extreme heat. It's kind of like a beautiful balance.
It is a beautiful balance. The most beautiful balance.
How's the art scene out there? I mean, I assume it's good if you're still there.
Well, I mean, it's okay. I guess it kind of depends on what you. I don't know, man. Like. There was a lot more just an art, organic, bubbling kind of an art scene here, like years ago, about 5 to 10 years ago, I guess, because there was sort of an exodus from San Francisco. But it's okay. I would say that there are a lot of really amazing artists here in the Bay Area. High Fructose is based out of here. Nice. That magazine. There's a lot of incredible artists. There's not really. I mean, there's a 1 a.m. gallery in San Francisco. There's Spoke Art Gallery in San Francisco. Besides that, not really anywhere for somebody. I guess Myris Gallery. I don't know. But like in Oakland, there's a Part 2 gallery, and there's just like maybe Good Mother, but like there's really not. I mean, I don't know. It kind of depends on what people mean by art scene, because like every city has artists and stuff, but the nature of the fragmentation of the internet makes it so it's weird because it brings us together, but we're actually all like physically separated. I don't know. And so like the organic coagulatory nature of like an organic in-person scene doesn't always necessarily happen in the actual city anymore. I don't know, man. It's trippy to me because there's no like collectives. There's no, I mean, there are like sort of cool art spaces that have a bunch of artists and stuff, but there's no collective thing going where it's like, oh, we're all artists and we have a big scene and people notice or something, you know, and they all come and they all party and we're all in it. Like that's like kind of a disturbing thing that doesn't happen anymore. I mean, even I was talking to my therapist yesterday about how isolated I feel, where I'm just like, dude, I'm just alone all the fucking time. And it's not good for your brain.
yeah, it's not.
It's really not.
And it's funny how, we want to say how we're more connected than ever with social media and all that, but honestly, yeah, it is a little disconnected as well. Like it's a weird, I guess, oxymoron. I don't know.
Well, I mean, like the thing is that like, what is that? I mean, it's bizarre because it's like you could be hanging out with some of your closest friends or your partners, but you're like on your phone.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like, and I'm fucking guilty of it. Like, I'm like, but I'm also like, part of me wonders if I'm not just trying to like just feel like I'm busy or something. I don't know. Like I'm like, I don't know. It's really bizarre what it's done, but I'm not. I'm just like endlessly scrolling, looking at people's art. I'm like looking at people's artwork and then, reading sometimes or reading an article or whatever, but it's definitely not my favorite way of, connecting. Connecting to like literature or people or whatever. It's horrible.
Well, I'm hoping that it evolves because I feel like this whole thing is still relatively new, and we're still trying to figure it out, and we're stumbling with it. But I mean, it connected you and I. It's one of those things. I've connected with a lot more people because of social media. I've made new friends because of it, because we'll do a podcast and then we end up meeting up at a show or whatever, and you become friends. But it also does do that, where when you're with certain people, especially someone like yourself, where you have success in your field, people know who you are. You kind of have like an obligation to maintain a certain level of face on social media. Like you have to be present if you want people to actually pay attention to your products, to your art, to what you're selling, to what you're putting out there. So it's weird, man. It's a weird vibe.
It's true. You have to maintenance it, I guess. I mean, the thing about the internet or social media, which the effectiveness of social media is like less and less and less because it's such an insane money grab, where for advertising and stuff, like Instagram was so awesome, and now it's like kind of awesome, but it's just sort of like so fucking littered with like the
ads
and people trying to like I don't know, like it's just weird. It's just like there's like a level of desperation. Like I get people, like just random fucking people are like I don't know, like everybody's trying to like scam their way to the top or whatever. I just kind of come from this place of like, oh, you just sort of work really hard and then hopefully people notice and maybe you get into a magazine or something. And so like the internet is like a fascinating thing because a lot of young artists I talk to, they're like, I need to get more visibility. I need to do this and this and this. And I'm like, yeah, but is your artwork good?
Yeah.
Like, do you even care about it? Like, do you care about it at all? Like, it's really crazy because it's like, I almost kind of feel like you could do a placebo thing where like a young person you know, they're like, oh, I gotta get followers, or I gotta get notoriety or something. And like, if you just like give them 1,000,000 followers, like just say one day you give them 1,000,000 followers somehow, and like they'd be like, oh, cool, my life's complete.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What are they going to
like,
do with it? You know, what are they going to do with the million followers?
Right. It still is going to come back down to you as a person and your connection to your art or your creativity, or the stillness that you can generate in your mind when you're alone doing something that you care about that feels good. And a lot of it too comes down to a physiological, biological rewiring of the brain, predicated on dependency on dopamine hits and interaction and all this stuff. But I don't know, man, like I love it. Like when I go on vacation and I don't have internet or something, like I feel so good after like 3 days. I feel all free and shit. I'm like, this is awesome. But I mean, it's true, man. Like, as much as I hate selling stuff or whatever, like you do got to do it. It's like, if you want to be an artist, because it's not like somebody's going to come and discover you one day and be like, I'm going to take you to the stars, kid. You're going to be great. Right. You know, it's not that, like, that's never going to happen to any artist. Like, they should just accept that the only thing, like, before you have any success and after you have any success, the one consistent thing is that it's all work. It's just work. It's a job. You just have to kick ass. You got to do good. You got to derive some pleasure out of it. And you have to make friends, and you have to maintain relationships, and you have to manage stuff. And it's like, dude, it's not like you're going to be fucking Tommy Lee and David Lee Roth in the back of a limousine with a fucking in a hot tub, you know?
Yeah, hookers and blow and woo.
Yeah, well, even that is like, that's all an illusion, anyways. Because like hookers and blow, it's like, well, what's on the other side of that? Like, oh, you're just a wash up dude with a bunch of venereal diseases. Like, that's fucking
a couple like, VDs and some hangovers.
It's about maintaining your own life. Yeah. You know, your own happiness for an extended period of time. And it's interesting. I don't want to, dominate the conversation. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. And, it's like you were mentioning, I think what you were trying to say is just that social media has given everyone a platform, and some people don't deserve a platform. You have nothing to offer, like,
well, it is interesting. Like, it has leveled the playing field. And it's been interesting to watch, I mean, for somebody who does what I do for a living, it's been a godsend, but it's also that my personality is sort of cut out to be this sort of obnoxious person who needs attention and who doesn't mind looking like an idiot. So the internet is perfect for that.
Yeah.
For me, but like a lot of other artists who are like, well, I just want to do great art and not have to sell it or not have to be the face of my career or whatever.
Right.
That used to actually work when the sanctioned ways of getting into this as a career was just like a magazine or something. You know what I mean?
It was like a gallery showing or something like that.
It was like a great mystery.
Yeah.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was like a great mystery, like, oh, who's my artist? Who's my favorite artist? Like, I don't know anything about them. It's like now you can literally just go find them online and fucking irritate them with direct messages like crazy, which...
Like I did to you?
It's cool, but it's stupid. Oh, it happens to me all the time. Like, so some random kid, like, asking me a shitload of questions or wanting something or wanting to basically know the shortcut to how do I live your life? And I'm like, dude, you don't have any idea how stupid it can be sometimes. Like, nor do you understand the amount of dues I've had to pay or the shit I've had to eat over the years. It's like, it's not, I don't know, man. It's weird. I feel like everybody sort of wants a shortcut to something, and even I do, man. I'm just like, give me a shortcut to the beach so I could lay down.
But see, like someone like yourself deserves a shortcut, or at least a break, where like some kids, some some people
There's
just
no
want to go
breaks.
straight to the top. Like, oh, I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for what? Make me famous. I don't know.
Right, exactly. It's true. It's really, dude, it's fucking weird. It's weird because, our memories are so short now that the world, dude, like I had an assistant who was born in 1990 or something. And to me, 1990 feels like 5 minutes ago.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is 1990 was fucking 28 years ago. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. I can't even tell time. But anyway,
yeah.
So the thing is that like 28 years, say 20 years of being on Earth, and the entirety of your existence is predicated on the idea that like maybe if there was a shortcut, you could just sort of like be famous real quick.
The 15 minutes of fame thing,
But they want like it's more than that. People want more, and everybody's trying to figure out how to obtain viral, a viral thing, and it's like, dude, it's organic. It's lightning in a bottle. You can't do that.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm like, I remember when it was like, oh, the only way that you could get famous was like if you were super good at what you did, and that was it. And like that was the only way.
And even then, you might not. So
right, or you were like
super
super good looking. Like those are the only two things. Like that's it. And so it's interesting because I feel like a fundamental cognitive experiential dissonance with young people where I'm like, I don't know how to talk to you because the only way that I know how to do shit is to like be fun and try really hard. And and I don't mean try really hard like planning tons of internet campaigns or whatever. I just mean like just try really hard to do your best at the thing that you love to do and try to maintain your relationships and stuff and then just like try to be fun and not be like a miserable piece of shit because the end of the world's unfolding before us.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to have some grace about it. But I just sort of like go, okay, look, I don't know what's going on with you young people, but baby boomers are psychopathic skeleton demons, and you need to fucking undo all the shit that they've done. And I'll be here to help. I'll watch, and I'll tell you you're doing a good job. You can be as famous as you want. Yes, I'll give you a follow for follow if you fix the planet. I don't care. Whatever the fuck you want, I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, I guess part of it does have to do with getting older. Like I used to be, I used to think the same way. We're like, oh, old people don't know shit. And now I'm older and it's like, I don't know what the hell is going on. I look at Reddit and my brain just goes into white noise. Like, nope. I don't know what that is. I can't deal with whatever's happening right here. All these memes and shit. Like I get a funny meme here and there, I'm victim to replying to people with like animated pictures every once in a while because sometimes just like an expression of somebody is a better way to answer than like actual words for me. Like
sure.
If you say something stupid, I'm gonna send you a Willy Wonka animated picture of him being like, oh really, tell me more.
Right. Sure. But that's like a cool adaptation of stuff, I love memes, dude. I think the fucking more obscure, the more political, the more subversive, the more insane, the better. I love them, dude. I'm like, I see I'm a intense absurdist though. Yeah. So I have that going for me, I guess. That's how I can understand the kids.
Yeah, I think also, but there is a aside from us getting older and not understanding the kids as much, I also think that there is a lack of real education in school and stuff. Like, there's things that we need to learn to do that they don't teach us. Like, we had to struggle through that I never got taught how to do my taxes and how to not ruin my credit score and how to, a bunch of things, and even social interactions, which is something that's missing now because everybody interacts over the internet and they feel they can say whatever they want because it's anonymous. So they don't really teach you how to have an actual face-to-face conversation with people. Like, I meet people that can't even look me in the eyes when we're talking.
Right. Well, it is funny too, because like the way that people are sort of projecting who they are online is so much different than the person they are in real life, because it's almost like people are sort of like, this is how I want people to perceive me. I can finally be the person that I want the world to see. Mm-hmm. And it's like curated content, it's like curating my own reality. And then you meet them in person and they can't even talk. It's like, wait, I just saw a bunch of photos of you looking like super serious and sexy or something.
Yeah. I thought you had something to say.
Guys and girls. Yeah. Or like, it's like you seem so much like you have so much more depth inside of you on the internet. In real life, like, you just seem annoying or something. I don't know. But like, I don't know. People, you can't, but here's the thing is that like experiencing people through the internet is such a marginalized way of understanding who they are anyways, that you have to reserve your judgment in all capacities anyways. Now, sometimes you can get your humor through, like I love to try to get my humor inside there through stuff. But, part of navigating the human experience is not in a graceful way is not taking yourself super serious and just trying to be like, whatever, dude, it's all super dumb. It's all like, it's all really, really dumb. And,
it's all dumb, and then we're going to die, and then that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to take my mind off the fact that I'm going to die,
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like,
I'm so obsessed with death. It's horrible. It's horrible.
No, it's not horrible. Look, I find it fascinating and also important to kind of analyze that aspect of our lives, because we kind of just push it aside and we bottle it in and we shove it down until the time comes when we're like, oh, by the way, you're dying in like a week. And then that's when people decide to find Jesus or whatever it is. Like
actually live free. Like, that's when they tell their parents they love them. That's when they're nice to other people. That's when they start living the life they should have been living. You know what's so funny, dude? So I like, whenever I'm hanging out with really old people, I am so paranoid that they're gonna die or have a heart attack or around me, like while I'm with them, and then I'm gonna have to do CPR, all this shit. So like, it's funny because I'll just be hanging out with old people, and while they're talking, I'll be trying to remember the CPR classes I used to take, and like the Heimlich maneuver. I'm like, okay, how do I do this stuff, like just in case, because I will seriously sit there and judge them. Like, I wonder how many cigarettes you smoke, like how much bad food you've eaten, like what's the probability that you're gonna die, like soon? I don't know, because like, dude, it happens. It happens, and I'm so like, please don't die while I'm around. I'm horrible, dude.
No, it's fine, because honestly, you're prepared. It's better to be prepared. At least like when it happens, you know what to do. You're like, oh shit, he's dying. Well, I'm glad I remembered about CPR right now. Because a lot of people, that's how they live. They don't think about shit like that. So when something happens, they panic and pull out their phone and film it and put it on Instagram instead of like helping.
Right. I'd rather save them than film it.
Yeah. No, but it's how it is. And I started thinking that way in my 20s because I had a really bad car accident. I've told the story multiple times on the podcast, but I had a really bad accident. I crossed over to the other side. I've got the paperwork that shows that I was dead. So
whoa.
Yeah. So I think about that shit, and I tell people all the time, like, that that's gonna happen, and it's better that you're prepared for it. It's better that you know what's coming than you just get caught by surprise, and then act accordingly. Act like you're gonna die. So not living with this I guess not careless, carefree, like, oh fuck it, nothing matters, we're gonna die, so live this like horrible life of whatever you want to do. But just try and enjoy yourself as much as you can and do cool things. Don't get upset over every single little thing Doesn't matter. Like,
letting it all go is the key, man.
yeah.
Just like let it, like fucking let that shit go. Like holding on to stuff, it's not worth it.
No.
It's not.
So your art is particular. It has a style. You know, you have a very psychedelic style to your art. Very bright colors, lots of spirals and monsters and that kind of deal. Where is that all come from? Did you ever dabble in psychedelics like that, or?
Sure, man. Taking mushrooms and stuff. I think psychedelics though is like psychedelia is more than just colors and stuff though. For me, it's like I don't know, man, like the acute realness of life, and when it kind of reveals itself in various ways is psychedelic. And it happens, it's sort of like when you're zen slapped by reality, that feels psychedelic to me. It's anytime things become more true is a psychedelic moment. Any kind of revelations, personal revelations, any kind of like closeness to death or closeness to life, or new discoveries, becoming more aware, thinking, feeling more. That's all psychedelic to me. Yeah, my artwork though is like, some of it's just different. It's like some of it's real meditative, some of it's real just for fun. Mm-hmm. Some of it's communing with the little kid that lives inside of me that did art as a little kid. Some of it's like just doing stuff for a band. Some of it's like trying to do a sick monster that looks cool because I love a mythology and Dungeons and Dragons and shit. But yeah, it kind of depends. I don't know. I consider myself pretty versatile. Like I just did the High on Fire album cover, and it's not super bright. It's still kind of psychedelic, but I don't know. It just sort of depends. I like to do muted stuff too, but I don't know. It's just here and there. It just depends. I should probably just control my colors better, and then it will probably look less like a bunch of crayons, you know?
No, I mean, honestly, though, that is a style that sticks out. And it's not, I mean, I have seen other artists trying to mimic that style. And I like it. I think it's great. I like that it's, some of the pieces are very busy. There's a lot to analyze. Like, I like art that I can sit there and look at it for a while. Like, I'm gonna break it down, look at all the nuances, all the little pieces, all the little secrets and details. Because sometimes art can be a little too simple, and some of that art is like the type of art you find in New York at the Guggenheim for millions of dollars, and it's basically a square. And you're like, all right, I guess I don't see anything but a square. I guess I'm not deep enough, but.
Yeah, you're paying for the pretense. You're paying for the high-minded concept.
Mm-hmm. I prefer to look at it and be like, wow, look at that, and look at this little detail, and look at that monster. And I don't know, maybe it's, high art people will look down on me like, oh, that's a simple way of looking at life. I don't know.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because that's all classist anyways. Because if you can't pay for a higher education that's going to infiltrate your brain with the ideas that like lower class people or blue collar people can't understand because we're not indoctrinated into those places of academic thought, then it's just supposed to keep you feeling stupid. It's not even like really based in anything. It's like it's based in all this lofty ass shit. You know what it is? It's like, how blue collar people kind of just bust their ass all the time and don't have a lot of time to like sit there and think about lofty upper crust, theories and stuff. Yeah. It's because they're too busy trying to survive and live.
Right.
And that's what I think is super classist about it, is like, oh, you have enough money to go to these ultra expensive places and schools and like think about shit. Like, I don't have time to just sit and think about shit, man. I gotta fucking pay my bills, man. My cat's sick. I gotta take it to the vet,
Right.
It's like, that's just what it is. So I go into a lot of museums and I'm just like, oh God, you know, it's like fucking.
Yeah, it's not that interesting. And I'm sorry, but I sometimes I see that shit and I'm like, man, you're full of shit. You expect me, like, I could just draw, a triangle and be like, yeah, this is the vortex in which the body separates from the mind, and and blah, like, make up a whole bunch of shit. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a triangle. Like, it's not. You can make up whatever story you want for it. Like, for me, art. If you're gonna do visual art, I just want to look at it and immediately be like, holy shit, look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, people's heads are right up their own asses,
Yeah.
That's why Robert Williams founded Juxtapose. It's funny though, because Robert Williams' art and all his explanations of his art too is all like super heady. It's all like heavy conceptual stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know, it looks cool to me, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong.
A simple guy. I'm trying to just pay attention to life in a lot of like real basic ways. And I feel like it's cool. Like, I can sit there and understand stuff, but I don't participate in the hierarchy of intelligence or thought too much. Like, I just want people to feel understood, and I just want to understand, and that's it. And I think that like we create these barriers between each other, while we're trying to feel smart or important or whatever, or we're executing our own insecurity, or we're doing all this stuff, I'm trying to get like burrow underneath all that stuff and just sort of be like, all right, this is who I am. I don't know. I'm just doing my best. I hope you like it. If you don't, that's okay.
Yeah.
See you later.
That's how you should be. That's how it should be, man. That's, again, it's just one of those things. And don't get me wrong. I like cool, thought-provoking things too. But there's a certain limit for me where, I've seen some movies that are like considered art pieces, and I watch it and I'm just like, well, I don't know. No. Like, my fiance and I watched this movie. It's called like The Color of Your Body's Tears or some shit. And it's some French movie. There's like very little dialogue. It's just like, random shots of stuff happening. Like, oh, here's a cup breaking, and oh my God, here's a person coming through a wall, and there's no explanation. It's just weird. And I'm sorry, I don't care. It's just not compelling enough for me. Like,
right. You just didn't connect with it.
Yeah.
Totally. I know. I saw that movie, Antichrist. And right. You like that movie?
I haven't seen it. I've been wanting to, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
I like it. But the thing is, the reason that I like it is because sometimes when I'm watching films or I'm looking at art that leaves a lot of room for my mind to create a big open space of anticipatory energy, or fear, or like, oh my God, what's even going on right now? Like, is this supernatural? Is it not? What is this? It's like I'm not liking the film or the art for exactly what it is, but I'm liking the way my imagination is interacting with it because it's not offering all the parts.
Right.
And so it's like you kind of become a part of the film in an individual sense because you're like filling in the blanks. Gotcha. So the movie is different every time based on whoever's watching it, if they're willing to engage with it in that way. This happens a lot with like old weird tales writings. H.P. Lovecraft is right. The popular one everybody knows, but like there's a lot like Algernon Blackwood's The Willows, where like people are describing stuff in their stories, but they're not describing them in a way. They're not spelling it out. And so it's kind of up to the reader to sort of trip the fuck out on what is going on and fill in like the idea of what the creature is or the phantom or the whatever. And so I developed that reading all that weird horror stuff like over the years. So I kind of bring that to like films and stuff like that. It makes it more interesting for me. But generally speaking, I go to see movies or watch films or go to museums and do a lot of things with very low expectations or expecting it to kind of suck. And then when it doesn't suck, it's kind of like a pleasant surprise,
Sure. Yeah, I
It's
kind
like,
of.
oh,
I'm
that
not,
didn't suck.
I'm like that as well, man. I mean, I'm a big comic book dude, and I
Oh,
was
you are? What do you like?
all kinds of stuff, man. I used to have a very large collection, but I mean, I guess if I have to pick, I'm very into the galactic, celestial type of deal that Kirby does.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of Thanos. Like, have a bunch of their toys and artwork, and
Oh, cool.
I even had this dude in Puerto Rico drew me as Thanos, and I thought I made a T-shirt out of
What
it
was
for the
that guy's
podcast.
name?
Jay
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 Parez.
Jay Paris, yeah.
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, dude, he's awesome, and he drew me as a Thanos. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, you kind of look like Thanos a little bit. You look like a mix of Thanos and Sergeant Slaughter. In the photo right here I'm looking at, I
I'll
don't know
take
what
it.
you look like.
I'll
Yeah,
take it.
Sergeant Slaughter, dude. But like, I know I read comics. The new Incredible Hulk is super good. By the
Nice.
way, it's the Immortal Hulk. It's a new. It just started. It's on like issue 10 or 11. It is super good. It's really like psychedelic horror. It's like it's weird, man. It's weird. It's good. I read a lot of Mike Mignola,
Okay.
BPRD, Mignola verse, all the Dark Horse stuff. Like everything he does, I love. I don't know, man. Like I used to read a lot, shitload, and collect a ton. But now it's just like very specific what I like.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I used to buy all of them, and even if I didn't really care too much about the character, I would just buy it. But now, yeah, I'm very. I narrow it down. Like I'll usually buy the first issue of something, and then wait and buy the collected just to read all of it at once because I don't really have,
Sure.
the patience anymore.
Sure.
But
Well, I read the Kirby Collector. It's all about. It's like a fanzine completely dedicated to Jack Kirby. I know everybody is just sick of me talking about this shit, but it's amazing. It's published by Tomorrow's Publishing, but it's the Kirby Collector. It is so awesome, man. It just chronicles interviews with him, his relationships in comics industry, everything that he's done, the history of his life, his impact on pop culture, his design work, where he got his influences from, what he's influenced. It's really, really, really fun to read about an artist that you find out is not a piece of shit. That's what happens. You always find out like every artist is kind of like your favorite artist, and then all of a sudden you find out they were kind of like a dickhead or something,
yeah,
or
man.
misogynistic or whatever.
It seems to be getting worse. Like I'm afraid to support people. Like,
Well, I mean, it's like I realize too, like a lot of my heroes and stuff like that. It's like they were heroes. They began as heroes to me before I knew everything about art and context and the world and politics and life and all this stuff. And you sort of just get to the point where you're like, all right, cool. I really like this stuff about them. And then there's this other stuff that I just think is like kind of deplorable and or fucked up. And then there's all this other stuff where you're like, oh, this is great, But like Bernie Wrightson, I met him. He's a super giant hero of mine. Have not found out one bad thing about him. Stoked about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, comic book artists they're just like miserable workaholic dudes, so you don't have to worry about it too much.
Right. Yeah, they just sit at home and draw as much as they can,
Where are you located at?
I'm in Long Beach right now.
All right.
Yeah, and we do a lot of my fiance and I go to a lot of cons to just meet artists and see artwork. My favorite part of the cons is the artist alley. Like it's the celebrities are cool. Yeah, checking out some of the games and whatnot. But to me, it's all about the artist alley and finding that there's a lot of artists, and like we said earlier, not all of them need to be there, but there's always there is one or two that always just like grab me, and then there's obviously the ones that I look forward to, like. Whenever I go to the cons, I always look for like Wizard Cleave. He kind of has a similar style.
Yeah, Wizard Cleave. He's cool.
Yeah, and Alex Pardee, which I know you guys have done stuff. I bought recently a book from him that had some of your stuff in it. It was like
the Zero Friends book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everybody can buy my new book off my website.
Yes, plug that in. Plug it.
ShopCriticalHit.com. You can buy my new amazing book. Over 200 pages of psychedelic fantasy nightmare art. You're going to love it. I'll sign it.
Nice. Yeah, you also have the pop-up book, or did those sell out?
Yeah, that's on Necronomicon
Yeah.
I did the Necronomicon Pop Up Book. That was fun. Yeah, that was super fun.
I loved it. I wanted to buy one. It's just, the last year of my life has been quite the struggle with car accidents and Hurricane Florence destroying my family in North Carolina and like all kinds of shit. Yeah. So all my luxury purchases have been put on hold for now.
It's okay. You don't have to justify to me. I understand. Don't worry. A pop-up book is not necessarily like a priority item in people's lives. But dude, you know who I met at Artist Alley? By the way, I love going to Artist Alley because it's like the fucking best to meet all these random artists that are just sort of like doing their things. Like my heart. Like they're in my heart, man. Like those people, the idealistic artists, people just there hanging out, trying to show you their cool thing they drew. Like I adore them so much, And but I met this woman who did all the fucking art for like all the crazy trapper keepers in the 80s when I was growing up, and she had all these prints, like the unicorn in space with the.
Was it Lisa Frank?
No, it was like. Lisa Frank was like the more
commercialized,
colorful, wacky one. This was more like a cybernaut warrior dude, and he's in like a Tronscape or like a unicorn in space and stuff like that. And I went there, I was like, oh my God, I recognize this stuff. And I looked and she's like, oh yeah, I did all that stuff. And I was like, holy shit, I was in the 3rd grade, go to Long's Drugs or whatever the little store was where we, and my mom would be like, oh, do you want to buy some folders for your homework? And I'd be like, yeah. And I'd go down there and you just look at them and it was just like this same art. And so, I don't know, man, there's something beautiful. Like, you really never know what you're going to run into there down in Artist Alley. I mean, plus, like, you can meet, like, the Honky Tonk Man and shit like that.
Ah, exactly, dude. Yes. Nice.
I met him. I got to party with him for a minute. He was like, nobody was coming by his booth, like, real early. He sat down, and I got to talk to him, and he's like, none of us made any money. He's our only Hogan. Only Hogan made any money.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, and then back then.
And then I asked him about the Pile Driver music video. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember that, but they did a music video where they're all on a construction site.
Oh my God, I vaguely remember that.
Look it up, dude. YouTube Pile Driver, and I was like, dude, what about the Pile Driver video? I mean, I was really punishing him, you know what I mean?
Nice.
And he goes, oh yeah, man, we filmed that like in a couple of hours. That was in between. We were flying. We were flying all over the country, man. We made no money. And he's like, and all my clothes stunk. They were dirty. I had to send them to my wife. She'd wash them, and then she'd send them to me in the next video or the next city, and all this stuff. I mean, it was a depressing conversation.
Yeah, dude. I love meeting all the old wrestlers though, because I've recently gotten really big into it again, and I just have a respect for like that grind, like they really grind. Those wrestlers are out there wrestling 5 times a week, like destroying their bodies.
Right. It's kind of crazy. Like when you think about it, like, it's fake, but it's so gnarly on you. Like if you don't do it right, like there's so many different ways they've messed themselves up super bad. I saw Jake the Snake Roberts one time, and he just like looked at me.
Did he give you the stare?
He gave me the craziest stare, man. It was insane. I looked down at his hands. His hands were so big and gnarled and like dry.
They're
And
their hands are made of calluses.
there was a darkness. There was like a darkness that was coming off of him that I was like, holy shit, man, I got to get away from this guy.
No, yeah, he's been through some shit for sure.
He's all sober now. He's doing good.
Yeah. I saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast. He's got a really crazy past, but thankfully he's back on
Diamond
track.
Dallas Page, man.
Yeah, DDPY.
I love him. Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, man. No, it's great. I like I said, I've been a fan of wrestling forever, and going to these cons, it's such a great experience. Like I'm relatively new to it. Like I've been doing it since I met my fiance, 5-6 years maybe. But growing up, I never did the con thing because I always thought it was too nerdy, and I don't know. It was some weird social bullshit that I grew up with in my mind. But it's so great. You get all this art. You get to meet some old legends and hang out and party. I don't know. I've met a lot of people.
Dude, I've been going to conventions since I was like 13.
Nice.
But like the conventions back then were different because it was like in a hotel lobby somewhere, and it would just be comic books, and maybe they'd have the guy from Deep Space Nine there, or like every once in a while. I mean, it was like a big deal when all of a sudden one of the Power Rangers was there.
Right.
It was interesting, man, to watch it all kind of grow. And then if you see back then, it was like 91 or something, 90 or whenever the fuck it was. Comic-Con San Diego was still just all about comics books. Yeah. It wasn't even, and I guess they're going to try to move it to LA, but I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, LA, downtown LA is rough when it comes for cons. Like I go to E3 and I go to the LA Comic-Con every once in a while, and it's just the traffic, the parking, it's a nightmare. But whatever,
San Diego is the spot just to keep it there. They should just keep it there.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you. I have a bunch of questions of like.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's cool. I enjoy the conversation aspect of it, but I want to ask a couple things here. Like, did you ever get in trouble in school because of your art? Like, did you ever draw something and your teacher was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, for sure. I was, like during high school, like rallies, I would go down to the art room and then just make these gigantic charcoal pieces. And then I would tape giant pieces of paper together and make these giant charcoal pieces and then hang them inside the art space. But they were like nightmarish, they were really gothic, evil pieces of charcoal art. And then I'd hang them in there, and then I think one of the school security guards like complained about it and was all upset. And then the artists, the teachers though at the high school went to bat for me. They're like, "Nah, this guy's a genius," which was not true. But it's crazy. I still hang out and talk and call my art teachers still on the phone. Oh yeah, I go visit them and stuff. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, I kind of got in trouble, I guess. Not really, but. Oh, you know what? I did get fired from a job, telephone marketing job, because I would draw on the phones. Okay. And what was crazy, dude, was I got fired after a couple of months. They're like, "We just don't think you fit in here." But it was crazy because everybody there was just like a punk rocker, alcoholic, like drug addict, weirdo person who could only get a job talking on the phones. The lady that fired me years later came to one of my art shows and was like, "I'm such a big fan," like whatever. And I was like, "Dude, you fired me." It was pretty funny.
Go away. You don't get my art.
I was like, "That's cool." I was like, "Cool, right on."
Yeah.
Whatever, lady.
Have you ever made a piece of art for someone that you liked to impress them? Kind of like a move,
Oh, for sure. Christy, my wife, actually, she worked at a comic book store, and I would leave her these like paintings all the time before we were going out.
Oh, that's adorable.
Or we started going out, and then I would like leave her paintings all the time.
That's cool.
Yeah, like sweet ones,
Yeah, not monsters, not psychedelic.
There'd be like little monsters and shit, but they would just be like notes with like a little painting on it and stuff every day, man. For a while, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite medium to work on? Like,
Dude, I just love inking with brush and ink. It's the best. It's so fun. It's just so satisfying in a real base level
yeah,
way. I love it, man. It's incredible. Just like a really nice, fresh, brand new brush.
nice.
Just going to town.
Yeah, because you play a lot with the different mediums. Like I've seen you actually do sculpting sometimes. Like I've seen statues and little. I saw you had a dunny at one point, and
Yeah, I do like toys. I have
yeah,
monster toys I put out. I airbrush, I paint, I do uh, make music videos and animate. And
so you did all the videos for the stage for Mastodon.
yes, with my favorite production company that I work with. Well, the only one I really. Hey, Beautiful Jerk.
Hey, Beautiful Jerk.
Mark and Gina from Hey Beautiful Jerk. They're fucking amazing. They just did Cardi B's stuff. They did a bunch. They did stuff with Rihanna, and
Wow.
they helped Katy Perry and do all this shit for Netflix and all this stuff. But then when they want to slum it, they do stuff with me.
Well, I mean, you guys. I saw a bunch of it when I saw Mastodon with Primus recently, and it's beautiful stuff. I mean, it definitely adds a whole visual layer to what's going on with their show. You know, especially with the drum kit that Braun's using recently, that I believe you painted as well.
I just did the kick drum, but the amazing artist. Donnie Gillies, aka Dirty Donnie, Dirty Donnie Gillies did the art on that. The airbrush, all the crazy. He made it look crazy, man. I can't. I don't know if I could do that shit, man.
I'm sure you could.
Maybe I don't know. One day we'll figure it out. One day.
How'd you meet those guys? Like, how'd you end up making the artwork for them? And you did one of their albums, right, or more?
Yeah, I did. Once More Round the Sun.
Right.
So Dirty Donnie Gillies, he interviewed me for Pork Magazine years ago, and then he was friends with Tim Moss, who was the touring manager for Mastodon for years. Mm-hmm. He's my friend too. He's managed Melvin's, Mike Patton's bands, nice. Faith No More, all this shit. But he brought Tim Moss over to my house one night, and we all went to go see the Melvins in Sacramento. This is when I lived in Sacramento. And I sold Tim a painting, a big ass painting. And then I went and met him, and I said, "Hey, I'm going to Atlanta to paint a mural for Adult Swim and stuff." And he goes, "Oh, you should meet my friend Braun." And I was like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, "Oh, cool, Braun, cool." I didn't think about like Mastodon or anything. And then I was like, "Oh shit, this is the dude from Mastodon. That's crazy." And then I got the number, I texted Braun. He came and picked me up in his nice truck, and then we just sort of hung out and became friends, and we laughed. We went to haunted houses together, and we party, and we laugh, and we joke, and he's just become a really, really good friend of mine, actually. We have like kind of like similar sensibilities about a lot of stuff, and it's just been awesome to have like such a cool working relationship with them, through him, of course. But it's funny because when I work with High on Fire, I work with Dez too, the drummer. So yeah. I'm always like I always just go straight to the drummers because they're like the most like to the point, like fun dudes.
Yeah, man. I mean, every drummer I know that I'm friends with is a great dude, like hilarious and kind of not what's the word I'm looking for, but just they're out there, and
it's nice because it's like there's no bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, and
you're just like, hey, what's up? They're the drummer. You're like, cool, let's party. It's like the most just easy, down to earth shit.
Yeah. I think that drummers are the most in control of their minds too. Like to be able to separate every limb to play different time signatures like that just blows my mind. I just can't even. I mean, I dabble, like I'll play a regular beat or something, but some people just their ability is insane.
Well, those dudes, they like actually I think compose a lot of the music too because they're the drummers and they do a lot of it. So the drummer's the backbone of all that shit, you know.
Yeah, drum and bass, the rhythm section is usually the foundation of all songs, you know.
Yeah. They're the ones who will be like, that riff sucks. It's out of time. It's too weird.
Yeah, man. What you mentioned you did the High on Fire album. What does it feel like to know that a piece of your art, like, it's up for a Grammy now?
Well, I wish the art was up for the Grammy.
Yeah, sure.
No, it's all good. Maybe one day, who knows? We'll do something for
Katy Perry or
yeah, Katy Perry. Yeah. No, well, I'm excited for them, and I'm excited just for the idea that like a band that has been scrapping for years, a band I actually like and love, not like some fucking band that sucks. That's like some crappy idea of metal.
Yeah, like a radio band. Yeah.
Yeah, or just fucking some shitty, like, you know, Red Bull fucking
Monster Energy drink.
Yeah, Monster Energy Tour fucking throwaway band that just like, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like they finally paid attention to like, you know, talented musicians this year. Like the nominees aren't bad, you know?
Yeah, it's cool. But I mean, it's like one of those things too where, you know, for the limited perceptual group of people, the crowd of people who are voting on metal, like usually in the past they'd be like, isn't Slayer like everybody's favorite? Let's just make Slayer, like, let's just give Slayer the Grammy, you know? It's like that's all their minds can handle is like Slayer or Marilyn Manson.
What are they selling at Hot Topic? That one. Let's just pick that one.
Korn, that band Korn. Are they still playing music?
Somebody in the back's like, well, actually, now they're a dubstep band.
Yeah. Give them the dubstep Grammy then if you have to.
Yeah.
I just want to see them on stage. I want to see Dreadlocks on stage this year.
Well, there's a chance that your art will be on screen. Well, honestly, no, because they don't even give those awards on TV. They just do like a quick, like, oh, while everybody was still entering the building, we gave away the Best Metal Performance Award. Right. They don't even do it on the show.
Well, metal is not a huge thing. I mean, rock and roll, everything's been kind of usurped by R&B and rap and stuff like that, which I don't think is bad. I don't think it's just whatever. Like rock and roll will always be a thing, but
I prefer it to not be, man. I prefer that rock and roll is something more dangerous and like underground, and not everyone gets it because it makes it feel special for me, you know?
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
it's dangerous down there. Somebody threw a Monster Energy drink at my head.
Yeah, man.
I had too much.
What, let me see, I have, how much time on average do you spend on a piece? Like, for example, Jesus. Like the High on Fire piece, how long did that take you?
Oh, that was like, that was kind of like a couple of weeks of, you know, maybe 5 hours a day or something like that here and there. It kind of depends, as it's like my life is, it just gets interrupted all the fucking time, you know? But like that piece itself was 4 feet long by 2 feet tall, because it's the back of the album and the front of the album all painted exactly to the scale, so that you could scale it down to 1 by 1, you know? But I don't know, like fuck, like this giant one I just did that's like almost 4 feet by 5 feet is probably like took about a month of just illustration, painting, and all this stuff. But like I could do it more. It's just that, dude, I just get interrupted. Everything's interrupted always. Like today, like soon as I get off with you here pretty soon, I gotta take my cat because she has kidney disease. I got a kidney disease, so I have to go to the doctors, and they're gonna tell me how to inject fluids under her skin. Oof. And then I come home. It's like, dude, it's never. I don't know what happened, but like I can't get like a just straight 5 hours of work time until uninterrupted work time until like at night when everybody's asleep or something. Like, it's hard, man.
Yeah.
Doing so many things, managing it, it's just finding a condensed amount of time to do shit is really crazy. That's why, like, a comic book artist, you know, my career is so varied and so bizarre, and it's so many different things that, like, I'm managing larger projects and bigger productions and smaller ones, and I'm just constantly doing different things. But, like, say a comic book artist, all they do is illustrate comic books. So they just go, okay, this is what I'm doing. And they just sit down. So they probably have like a greater sense of accomplishment. But I just feel like I'm getting nothing done. Like ever.
I think that's just part of the artistic mind, man. Like, we're people that create are always perfectionists. Like, it's never good enough. You're never done with it. You're just going to have to kind of just give up on it at some point. Like, it's never finished, right? I mean, I don't know. Do you feel that way sometimes when you're making a piece?
Yeah, I mean, you have to get good at just like accepting it or letting it go, or just being like, yeah, this is great. I love it. This is good. But that's also something you increase over time.
Yeah.
You know, like if you become one of those insane painters, like the guy who does the covers for Morbid Angel or whatever, that dude, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name right now. He's fucking amazing. But like if you know, somebody like that, you don't get to a point where you just go, oh, like I get it's not exactly how I wanted it, but I'll just accept it. Like you're just so good at actualizing your vision that you don't have that in you. You don't have the like, yeah, I don't really like this part over here, but whatever.
Right.
You know,
you can't let it go. Yeah. It has to be.
Well,
perfect.
I can, because I'm like, I can't just keep spending time on this fucking thing. Nobody even has enough money to buy it. You know what I mean? It's like, so I just kind of, float on through, man. But like when I work on my animations and stuff, I realize too, it's about economy of line, economy of concept and art. It's like making it look as cool as you can without doing it to the point where it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, that's...
But you don't want it to look like some Hanna-Barbera shit. You want it to look good, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Like the stuff like I said, the stuff you did for Mastodon's videos and in the background, like it definitely, you can.
Did you see the High on Fire Black Plot video?
Yes. Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best thing.
Nice.
The best thing I've ever done with animation. Easily. But I'm going to start working on this stop motion horror film, this fantasy horror film with this guy too. Like we've already been building the set. We got a bunch of the puppets and all the characters and the creatures already. It's going to be sick.
Nice. So it's going to be more practical effects than like, computer CG or...
It's all going to be full stop motion, like Ray Harryhausen style shit.
Oh, nice. Oh, I'm stuck
it's crazy.
To see that.
I've been grinding on it with my buddy Ross for a while. And he helped me do the stop motion animation commercials for Adult Swim and stuff like that. So he's killing it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I got a movie just that we filmed in Atlanta that's coming out in a couple, like maybe a month or two, called Budfoot. That's a short film. It's super, super good. I'm really proud of it.
Is that coming out on a channel or a network that
maybe I don't know, they're talking to Sci-Fi Channel or Shudder or something, but I don't know. I know it's going to go to film festivals, so it's not going to be like on YouTube immediately, but
right.
We'll figure it out, but I'll be posting about it for sure. But I'm super excited about it, and they were just showing me new scenes with the VFX laid over it and stuff. It looks fucking amazing. It looks legit. And that's what's cool. You can make small productions look legit now. That's what's beautiful.
Yeah, the technology's there for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
If there's an artist a musician that you haven't worked with that you would like to work with to make an album cover for, who would it be?
I don't know. Shit. Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. That's interesting.
Yeah, or like Rihanna, Cardi B.
All right.
Or like I'd like to do another Mastodon one. because they just let me get fucking insane with it. But Queen, that would be sick to do some cool Queen thing. Prince, a Prince one, maybe a posthumous release.
Yeah, doesn't he have like 20 albums in his vault or something?
Yeah, Frank Zappa. I would like to do a new Frank Zappa one.
Nice.
I don't like Ministry. That'd be sick. Death Grips. Those are my buddies from Sax. So I'd do a Death Grips one. That'd be awesome.
Hell yeah. And now when it comes to that, like, do you ever just like do it? Like, hey, I'm going to do a Death Grips album cover and give it like, here, if you want to use it. Or do you,
no,
you just don't
I
have
don't
the time
really,
for
I'm
that?
usually like, I mean, I could try that, I guess, but, yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, it's,
you know what? That's not a bad idea. Just do some art, send it to my buddy Zach, the drummer. I could just be like, hey, I want this to be the new Death Grips album. What do you think? And just keep sending, just send him a new album every week, and be like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
Oh man.
Yeah, he'd be like, please stop.
Please stop. I'm having nightmares.
Sir. Please, sir. That's enough.
All right. And then beer. Do you drink it?
I used to drink a lot more, but I have like an autoimmune disease that is worse with inflammation. Ankylosing spondylitis. I have to take a injection every 2 weeks to suppress my immune system. But whenever I'm drinking a lot of beer, I get all inflamed, you know what I mean? But also the hangovers are worse. I'll drink a lot of bourbon, but I'll be okay. But I like Abita from New Orleans.
Yeah.
I like Red Stripe. When I was in Belgium, there was a lot of good Belgian beers there. I like Guinness. I recommend drinking it straight from the tap in fucking Ireland if you can. It's a lot different. It's a lot better.
Yeah, for sure.
I like Pacifica. I like, dude, I love drinking micheladas. I don't know if you have those. Do you drink those?
I'm in Southern California.
So get those because those are amazing. A michelada, like a real good one.
Yeah, those are my Bloody Marys. Like on a Sunday when I'm hungover, a michelada is the way to go.
Oh yeah, it's the best. It's the best. I don't know. Besides that, like. Just fucking sours are good, but just like sometimes an IPA, just random shit. Like, I don't know, man.
Braun ever take you on a journey of a beer tasting journey with him?
Braun will always give me the fancy beers. And I'll be like, this might be wasted on me, bro. You should just give me the Stella or something, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm lame, dude. Like people give me a bunch of weed, a bunch of beer. I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this shit. Like I got so much shit to do. But like, I'll smoke weed, have some beers, and get loose. But once you let the genie out of the bottle, man, I start going. I start raging.
Nice.
So I have to be careful. I have to be like, can this group of people I'm with handle what's going to happen here soon? And or I'll just get really tired. You never know which one.
Yeah. So you don't because your art is so psychedelic. You're not the type to get fucked up and then do art as you're fucked up. It's more.
I smoke a little bit of weed sometimes or something like that. I drink a beer, but being all intoxicated, it's not going to work. Everything I do is like real precision, precision based. Illustration and stuff like that. I could do it. Like I get fucked up and do some crazy charcoal stuff, like just get weird and do it and just do some like real process oriented art that way. But I don't know, man. I'm no fucking Jackson Pollock, dude. I'm no Chuck Bukowski. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm trying to like have a little bit of respect for what I do. I guess I don't.
It's important. I used to get super trashed whenever we performed my old band, and looking back at it, it's like some of those shows were terrible, and I it's not that I'm ashamed, but it's just like, man, I should have put a little more control into that to make it a better experience for everybody that was there.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird how a lot of people will romanticize being fucked up as if it's like cool or something. I don't know. Like I don't like I'm not really one of those people. I'm like yeah, I guess you're pretty fucked up. That's fine, I guess, you know? Like I don't know. It's like yeah, like I think a lot of times people are afraid of achieving the greatness that they can. Or they're just nervous and scared, so they get fucked up. Like that's what I do, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like, if I know I have to do something, I'll be like, take a couple of shots, and I'll be like, okay, cool. Like I'm not wasted, but at least like my nerves are a little more calm.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I've done shows where I ended up just scaring the entire audience out of the room because I just start jumping into the crowd and like, you know, chugging pitchers of beer.
Start doing that Sergeant Slaughter shit.
Exactly. Yeah,
Thanos is in the crowd.
Well, hey man, I appreciate your time. I've been I've been a fan of your art for a while. I've been, you know, following you on the socials, as they say, as the kids say.
Hell yeah. Is that what they say?
I don't know. That's what I say because I'm older.
Hell yeah. Because we're old, huh? We're going to be dead soon.
Yeah, it's fine. You know, there's stuff waiting on the other side. It's fine.
See you on the other side. Well, yeah, cool, man. This has been fun. Let me know whenever it goes up, and then I'll tell people about it.
For sure, man. I'll send you a link. You know, obviously it'll be posted on all of the socials, as they say. And
okay.
Plug your website again. Where people can buy your stuff.
Oh, shopcriticalhit.com, or you can see me on Instagram at The Art of Skinner. That's the places I'm at.
Cool. And then Necronomicon.
Necronomicon It's pretty weird. Check it out. It's a Necronomicon, but it's a pop-up book. It's crazy, man.
Sweet deal, man. Thanks again for your time, dude. Hopefully I'll run into you in one of the cons down here at some point.
I'd love to, man. That sounds fun. We'll have a beer.
Yeah, there you go.
Right on, man. Well, have a good one, dude. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Cheers.
Bye-bye.